You may have heard President Trump's call for nationalizing elections, which is drawing backlash and warnings from both Democrats and Republicans. So joining me this morning to discuss is David Frumkin. He is Assistant Professor of Law at the University of Houston Law Center. Professor Frumkin, thank you for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so what is your understanding of what it would mean to nationalize elections?
Well, to be honest, it's hard to know what Donald Trump is talking about, as it so often is. I mean, the most important thing to say at the outset is that there is simply no authority under the Constitution for the president to play a role in election administration. The default rule that the Constitution establishes very clearly is that state governments get to administer elections, including for U.S. Congress. Congress can alter those state regulations of elections, but it has to do so by law. So if Congress doesn't make a law, the states are in charge. The only way to change that would be to pass a law through Congress.
And that has to come through Congress. So in terms of just the structure of how the democracy is made up and configured, why are elections historically left to the states themselves and not the federal government?
Well, I think that there are a variety of reasons. One is simply that it has been done that way for a long time. There's a long tradition of doing that way, and Congress is generally reluctant to disrupt longstanding arrangements, especially when there's no compelling justification. So that relates to a second reason, which is states have a lot of experience administering elections, and administering elections is very challenging. It requires a lot of labor and a lot of personnel. And currently, states have that infrastructure and the federal government does not. So if you think about what it would mean for the federal government to administer elections across the country, you're talking about staffing tens of thousands of polling locations, employing people to count ballots in all of those locations. This is a massive, massive undertaking. And it's difficult to imagine that the feds could do that on the timeline that we're talking about, and certainly B, difficult to imagine that they could do it better than the states that have so much experience doing this election after election.
All right, what do you make then, Professor Frumkin, of President Trump's claims of voter fraud, widespread voter fraud, and the doubts he has cast on the integrity, especially of the 2020 election, and the need to address those? In your mind, how common is this level of voter fraud?
Voter fraud practically never happens. It's something that's very scary, and I think that is why it is talked about so much, but it really is not a serious issue. When you think about the costs of imposing the kinds of laws that get proposed to combat voter fraud, there are real costs. And so when you weigh the costs against the benefits, it's very difficult to imagine that those laws would be justified. So to give just one example, millions of Americans lack photo identification. If you pass a restrictive voter ID law that requires voters to present photo ID in order to cast a ballot, you'd be excluding millions of lawfully eligible voters from casting a ballot, potentially particularly creating challenges for poorer and older voters for whom it might be even more difficult to obtain that photo identification. So you're really talking about solving a non-problem in a way that creates these new problems.
What would you say to those folks, though, that say those voter ID laws are basically common sense, you know, driver's license, proof of residency, and that it's reasonable for that group that you just mentioned to come up with that kind of ID?
Well, the question is just what problem is it solving? It simply is not the case that there is any meaningful level of voter fraud. This is rhetoric that gets deployed in order to cast doubt on the integrity of our election processes. And I think that's really the thing that we should be talking about. The fact that Donald Trump now has a long established pattern of trying to cast doubt on our electoral processes. You know, we didn't have these kinds of doubts before Donald Trump started using this rhetoric. But I think what we need to recognize is that the last time Donald Trump lost an election, he tried to overturn the result of that election. And what he's now saying pretty clearly is that he intends to do the same thing in the future. If he loses an upcoming election, he intends to overturn the results of that election.
Welcome to the X-Ray Podcast. I'm your host, Julio, with my co-host, Robert Barbosa. And I just played this clip just to show that we're not biased. Sometimes we seem to be, but most of the videos that I'm going to play today are from the left. And as you will see, they were lying their teeth to the people, saying that voter ID and the voter fraud barely happened. So why they panicking with Fulton County? But anyway, we're gonna talk to that later. And my friend Robert Barbosa, how you doing, brother? I hope you are doing well. I'm glad that you joined us. I thought you were like about to bail on me.
Nah, man, I was doing everything I could to make it on time, which
It's all
I
right, brother.
did, and I still was able to promote the show. Um,
Appreciate it.
but time for the biblical verse. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
I got you. I got you. I got you, brother.
Oh, you got
For
it.
the
Okay.
grace of God has appeared that offers salvation to all people. Yes, including the left.
Yeah.
Titus 2:11.
everyone, everyone is saved. Brother, let me tell you this. Just touching on this is not a clickbait. As you saw in the thumbnail, we're going to show you reasons why Donald Trump won this SAFE Act has and codify into law because it's very important that Donald Trump codify not only the SAFE Act, also codified other laws like voter and also codified, I would say, geopolitics like trade, with other countries, codify those laws because if not, as we saw back in 2020, the next Democratic president will use the stroke of the pen and they will sign off over 100 executive orders just to reverse everything that Donald Trump has done in the past, by the past 4 years. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Robert, what do you think about this SAFE Act and the implications of it?
Okay, so that guy, that attorney that was talking, just real quick, did y'all notice his office was so empty? He had no books on the bookshelf. He had just empty
Hmm.
bookshelf. I just found that so weird. This guy is obviously paid or working with the Democratic Party because you have to be either that ignorant or that naive, which I doubt he is because he sounds very intelligent. But then again, I don't know, man. The left has been claiming to be the so intellectual, and then they get the words wrong. They don't use the word racism correctly. They call
Yeah.
anybody fascist who just doesn't agree with them. But I will say this: look, nationalizing elections, in my opinion, is a bad idea. But I see why Donald Trump wants to do it right now
Right.
because that's the only way that we can secure the midterm elections. Second, this attorney said that there's no voter fraud. First off, that's a lie. That is 100% a lie. The people, it's overwhelmingly everyone knows that there's an election fraud going on. Where are all these millions of votes that Joe Biden supposedly gathered to back him up? Right? Where are they at? I don't
I know.
know. So the other thing, and one more thing, Julio, is he's talking about the disparities, the basically the people that um, can't get a vote, an ID to go vote, and how that would hinder them. Well, let me ask you this. So, if we were to do voter ID, you know, you have to register to vote. And I don't know if people miss this or forget this, but how do you vote? You can't just go, oh, I'm a citizen, I get to vote. That doesn't work that way. You have to register to vote. Guess
Absolutely.
what? Guess what you need? Guess where you need to register to vote at? The DMV, the DPS. Guess what you need to be able to register to vote? Of ID. So, first off, if you are registered to vote, that means you either obtain or you have an ID. And if you have obtained the ID, and let's say you're an elderly person that can't see, so you can't get a driver license, you can get an ID. But if you choose not to, well, let me ask you this. I use Grok to say, what types of identification do you need obtaining a driver license in most states? Guess
Mm-hmm.
what? Proof of identity, legal name, date of birth, lawful status. What is the first thing you need? A U.S. birth certificate. And that's not enough. You need to have two forms of it. So it's either a U.S. birth certificate, a valid, unexpired U.S. passport, a certification of naturalization of certificate of citizenship, uh, a permanent residence card, or even your social security. So if you have a social security and you have a
Mm-hmm.
birth certificate, that should be accepted in you registering to vote. And if you have those two documents, that's your ID, guys. Come on, common sense. They're doing what every Democrat left winging love to use this word, gaslighting. That's gaslighting. They're
Yep.
gaslighting you, telling you that voter ID is going to hinder people from voting. That's BS, because you need to register. And guess what? You need an ID to register. Make it make
Absolutely.
sense, Julio.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to have an idea. What type of control do you want? And in a special moment, a special day for the nation, we need to count one body, one vote. We don't need one body and 25,000 or 25 vote. We don't need that because that's where the fraud comes in, and we seen it happening. We seen it happening. Let me show you a video of, I think one of the videos didn't load.
Yeah,
Okay, hold on. I
go
got
for
it
it. Go
right
for
here.
it. Okay.
Let me delete this
But
because
yeah,
I was
guys, let us know
working.
down the comments. Let us know down the comments. My little rant. If you think if you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know why. Because I mean, I go buy beer. I need to get ID'd, and like we want that to happen. If I want to buy cigarettes, I need to get ID'd. We want that to happen. And in certain states, if you here we go.
What are we talking about here? So take a look here. Favor voter ID to vote. Look, I got all this polling on the screen going back since 2018. You'll notice on all of it, it's all north of 75%, 76%, 76%, 76%, 81%, and then 83% in the last year of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj. They favor photo ID to be able to vote.
What about by party? What's the party breakdown?
Yeah,
Boom.
normally you might expect, hey, there'd be a
Boom.
big divide by party with Republicans really for it and Democrats really against it, but not really here. I mean, just take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote. You got 95% of Republicans, pretty much all of them, but even 71% of Democrats
It's a
favor
mandate.
photo ID.
It is a mandate.
It's a mandate.
From both sides, it is a mandate.
Hey, but Julio,
Man, that's crazy.
Julio, 2016. What did they claim that Trump did? He stole the
Oh,
election. That's what they said,
we try to
right?
fix it.
It was Russian. We help. Okay, Democrats, help us so that the Republicans can't win an election. Get
Yep,
voter ID so they don't cheat. Yeah, and every Republican will agree with me. You know, come
absolutely.
on, guys. Oh my gosh.
So again, Nicki Minaj posting that on X, and what you see is that the American people actually, it's not really all that controversial. The American people are with Nicki Minaj, whether they are Republican or even if they are Democrats. We're talking about 7 in 10 Democrats agreeing with Nicki Minaj that you, in fact, should show a voter photo ID to vote.
Seven
What's the
out of
racial
10,
breakdown?
that's big.
Okay, what's the racial breakdown on this, right? Because I think a lot of people make the argument that people of color, non-white Americans, have a harder time procuring a photo ID to vote. But even here, take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote.
Julio.
Mm.
This CNN. I don't watch CNN, so I don't know who this guy is. But I will say this: this CNN is what CNN used to be. So
Yeah, absolutely.
good
I'm
job,
agree with you.
CNN. You know what I mean? I am now able to want to listen to this because he's reasonable. You know what I mean? Like
You
I
bring
can
it
listen.
back. It's so
Yes,
simple.
so simple.
Let the people decide. You bring the facts. Let the people decide.
All right, I'm gonna continue it. Here we go.
Go
Let's
ahead.
see what he says.
85% of white people favor it, 82% of Latino, 76% of black Americans favor it.
Mandate.
So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
So something of a non-controversy, in other words.
That's very good. The alliteration of Mr. John Berman, that Harvard education pay.
The Harvard education is paying off. That is a
Dude,
funny joke. But bro,
That is funny.
it is the absolute fact that all American, I would say 8 out of 10 want voter ID. And that
Hey,
what that means? That means it is a mandate, not by Donald Trump, by the people. People
but
want
but did you see this? Did you see the stats, Julio? From 20, what he said, 2018, right?
2018 and on. Yeah.
2018. Every year it was just increasing, and it got
Mhm.
even more because guess what? The 2020 election was rigged. It was rigged. You cannot tell us it's not rigged. You keep that's gaslighting. If people don't understand where that word came from, it's from a book, and then they made a movie. And you can see that you've probably all seen this clip where this guy is laying in bed with another woman. The wife comes in, and then the wife is like, "How could you? How could you, Julio? You with her?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's putting his clothes on like nothing normal.
Mhm.
I'm about to go to work. The lady putting her clothes on, and she's like, "How could you?" And he's like,
Like
"What are you talking
pretend it
about?"
never happened.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? And then the lady's gone, and she goes, "What lady? What are you talking about?" It got so crazy that the lady was like, "Was it in my head? Am I going crazy?" Well, that's what these people are doing. They're telling you, "No, we didn't. There's no voter fraud. No one cheated in 2020. There was 30 million people that don't exist no more for voting because they
I
just
know.
didn't want to
That
vote."
didn't that didn't appear. I mean, if you look up the charts, how many people voted in 2020 in the presidential election, and you look up in comparison to 2024, I guarantee you over 11 million votes were gone.
Yep.
Were
I'm
gone.
checking that right now.
I guarantee you. And like you were saying, where did the votes went to? Where did they go? They gotta go somewhere. It's hard to prove that 11 million people just disappear, vanish out of the voting rolls. Like it is huge. It is huge. And we are about to find out when Fulton County, the discovery portion is over and the analysis is done and the reports from the uh, forensics come back and we find out by court, by reports that they were actually fraud, a lot of people are going to jail. And I'm telling
Mhm.
you, if they discover fraud in Fulton County by the forensics on the machines and the voting, um, matching signatures and votes, and finding discrepancies, that will open a can of worm, a precedence to basically go to every other county that were quote unquote suspects. They might go to Maricopa County in Arizona. I don't know. That might be
Man.
next. That might be next. I'm just saying.
So there, after they've counted and got rid of the fraudulent votes, Kamala Harris on, got 6.3 million votes less than Joe Biden. So these 6.3 million people, where are they at though? Where are
It's
they at?
hard to prove. It's hard to prove those such a big number, whether it's 6, 10, or even 5 million. Just decided not to go vote. It's hard because you have a lot of push. You have um, all these influencers from the music industry, from Hollywood,
TikToks were
making
getting paid.
yeah TikTok.
TikTok.
You got Harry Season making stupid TikToks and Facebook rants about Kamala Harris to vote, but what they having? They having literally they are having buses performing abortions at rallies of the Democrat Party.
Yep.
But at the same time, they call it themselves Christians. Like, how you gonna go call yourself a Christians and basically supporting Kamala Harris or supporting the Democratic Party? The Democrat is a party of death and extermination. That's my opinion. I'm sorry,
Hey,
I have to come out with it. But how can you support it as a Christian? If whether if you're a Christian or you are Buddhist or you are evangelical or Catholic, how
yeah,
in
how
the
can
right mind you support that? Like, I'm just
look,
saying.
okay, real quick, shout out to Jamie Jefferson. Yeah, he says it's not just Georgia though. Got
Gotta
gotta get
gotta get
them
them all.
all. Well,
Yeah,
yes, Jamie, you are
absolutely.
absolutely correct. Um,
California, New York, all the states.
but this is the catalyst that's going to open the doors to more, because the
Absolutely.
whole claim is that there is no fraudulent. And so
I
if
know.
we find one county, which Georgia seems to slip up, then we can open the can of worms. But dude, the Democratic Party, you are correct, Julio. At least I agree with you, right? I agree with you because I'm evangelical. I'm a Christian. I believe in Yeshua, and the DNC, when they had their convention with Kamala
Mhm.
Harris, Megan the Stallion was over there twerking. They
Beyonce
had
and all
an
these people
abortion bus in front of the DNC, and there was
performing
a
abortion.
line
Yeah,
performing mobile abortions for free. How can you say you are a Christian and still vote for that? And if you don't vote, it's just, again,
it's crazy, brother.
it's
It
crazy.
is crazy. It is crazy that the world that we live in. Now let's look at the video of JD Vance had an interview with this reporter, and they
Yes.
were talking about the vote and why the Save Act is so important, not to save America, but to save the country as a whole, because we need to get this clear. It is not, people need to understand this is not a left or right or a independent. This is basically affecting everybody. If we don't pass this, there is no transparency. Let's
Hey,
take a look at it.
Jamie's on fire. Jamie's
Yeah,
over here.
yeah,
He
he's
put,
putting
depart from me. I never knew you. Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
true. God said that.
Hmm.
Listen to this.
Well, we're working very hard right now to get the Senate to approve it, because if the Senate approves it, we think the House would approve it too. Now, that would require, I think, some Republican senators who maybe they're a little too attached to the filibuster, maybe they're a little too attached to Senate procedure. This is about the integrity of American democracy. Like, do the people control who they elect, or do some shady people? It's like, who actually controls the people who cast the ballots or the people who count the ballots? We want the sovereignty to be with the people who cast the ballots, and that's why we have to get the SAVE Act passed. And you'll hear people say all the time, and I love this argument. They'll say, well, if you look at this precinct, only 3 illegal aliens voted in this election. Number one, that's 3 illegal aliens too many. And number two, if it's not a big problem, then why not just allow us to check ID and exercise some basic precautions to prevent illegal aliens from voting? I never quite understand the person who says, on the one hand, this never happens, and on the other hand, your effort to prevent it from happening is a threat to American democracy, which is fundamentally the Democrats' argument. By the way, it's like an 85-15 issue.
Yeah.
Most Democrats want voter ID because they want to protect their own vote.
But the elected leaders don't want to vote for it.
The elected leaders don't, because they know that the more control they give to the people who are counting the ballots, as opposed to those who are casting the ballots, the more.
That's true. That's
Man.
true. We need to have a control of the ballot, control who's voting. If you vote, that's it. You voted. You don't need to come back. And like I was saying last week, you need to go drive 20 minutes to the next voting center and vote again. And because that's their plan. That's their plan. Their plan is to go everywhere and vote. Even James O'Keefe did that last week. He did a expose on how people, immigrants, illegal immigrants, they were already registered to vote.
Well, yeah. Okay. So
They have the
yeah.
James O'Keefe in Atlanta. He went to a couple places. They were speaking Spanish, and they were talking to people, asking, "Hey, are you registered to vote? Are you good to go?" in Spanish, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're good to go." But they were illegal.
Well, Julio,
Crazy, brother.
here's the other thing too that you just made me remember. So I owned a property in California, and
Right.
uh, I don't want to give too much information, but I'll just say this. How about this? In California and in states like Minnesota, illegals can have driver license. Okay, so even having voter ID, we're still gonna have some slip in the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because eh, if they're giving driver license to illegals, uh, they technically can vote. And yeah, okay, so and those are gonna tell me, well, that's why when they do the count, they'll remove those, right? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but guess what? It doesn't go right away. They find out and audit like a week after the election, a week after they've already said, congratulations, whoever so and so won. And then what happened with Joe Biden? I don't know if anybody forgot this, but back in like 2020, when he won the election, and like I think months later, they found so much fraudulent votes, and it turns out that it wasn't that much of a victory, and they removed those ballots, but it still doesn't change the outcome.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it is crazy. People say there is no voting fraud, but in Fulton County, when they did the search, they found out bags with ballots hidden in the closet. They're supposed to be burned, and
yeah,
somebody forgot about it, and they found it while they were doing the serving the warrant. And people say, "Oh, it is not as bad." It is bad. It is bad. And I'm about to pull up a video of Chuck Schumer. He got a little slip on the tongue about this voting. Let me see if I can bring it up.
oh,
Chuck Schumer. Yeah,
Chucky
right here.
Chuck.
Yeah, let me share the screen. Sorry about that. Let me share the screen real quick. And I want you to see this because this is from my boy Wise, the racial perspective. He posted this morning, yesterday. He
Okay.
was talking about it yesterday,
Shout out
and
to Brother Wise. Shout out to Brother Wise.
I was listening to it, and I was like, man, that kind of makes sense. And he slip up. Listen to this.
On its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
3 weeks, there has been a lot of news.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it right there.
Yep.
He slip up on that one. He slip up. He say as many as there is out there. I mean, he threw 11 million. That's the number that people are throwing around. And we have talked to JJ. We have talked to Gil Massa, and we know. And they told us there's not 11 million. We're talking about upwards
Yeah.
25, 30 million.
So check this out. Check this out. So Kamala got okay. She got 75 million votes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 75017, So Donald Trump got 77 million votes. So
He's way popular. Way
yeah,
popular than
but what I'm trying to get at, what did he say? 11 million?
11 million.
That would put that would have put Kamala Harris
At
way
85.
over, way over the top. 76 million. That would have put
Yep.
we would
That's what
have
they want, brother. That's what they want. That's why they want it so bad. And Donald Trump is doing the job of get him out of here. But he knows that get him out of here is almost impossible. So what is the fastest route? The safe act.
Yep.
That is a safe route. I guarantee you, a few states are going to start circumventing or finding loopholes to get an ID. I guarantee you, with whoever is redacting this Safe Act, whoever is sponsoring, they need to make sure there is no loophole to be taken, because these leftists, these Democrats, they will find any crack and they will kind of slip through it, because they are rats, demon rats. So that's what I call 'em.
Well, and some of it right now is like, look, Donald Trump is about finding solutions. Not only just like everybody focuses, hyper focus on him, and about Donald Trump bringing out the problems, and he's very good in reminding you the problems. I mean, it's like he's almost got it to the point where it's like a broken record, where he'll tell you the problem over and over. They cheated, every conversation. He makes sure you don't forget. But what people dismiss is that he finds solutions. He's finding solutions, and sometimes it's not popular at first, but then later it's like, yeah, oh my gosh, he's good job. Even you got the leftists, like right now with the whole income tax, man, I bet they're quiet right now because they're happy. They don't want to celebrate too much, though.
They always do that. They
But-
always. I have more. I have more on this. I have a CBS. I'm bringing you the left and the right perspective. So I've been getting messages like, "Oh man, you're biased." So I'm like, you know what? You're right. Let me get it even so people don't complain. But check the CBS reporting about the nationalization of votes. Take a look.
Trump is doubling down on calls for Republicans to nationalize elections. Yesterday in the Oval Office, the president called out multiple states for what he described as crooked elections and repeated debunked claims that the 2020 election was rigged. Here's just some of what he had to say.
Look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections, and the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved. These are agents of the federal government to count the votes. If they can't count the votes legally and honestly, then somebody else should take over.
Now, earlier in the day, Weijia Zhang asked Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt what Mr. Trump means when he calls to nationalize voting. And you'll recall, he first made those comments on a podcast with Dan Bongino. Leavitt insisted Mr. Trump is referring to a bill that would require voter ID.
I don't think any rational person who's being honest with themselves would disagree with the idea of requiring citizens of this country to present an ID before casting a ballot in a federal election.
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us from the White House with more on this. Natalie, good morning. Clearly, the Constitution gives states the power to run elections. So what is the latest reaction to the president's additional comments?
Yeah, and Errol, the Constitution also gives Congress the ability to alter elections rules, just not the president. So that could explain why the White House is now insisting that President Trump was referring to this GOP election-related legislation, the SAVE Act, or Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, in his comments. The president, when asked about this again yesterday, said that he wants honest elections and that if states cannot do that, he wants lawmakers to do something about it. But Democratic lawmakers are pushing back. They say, between the president's latest comments and last week's FBI raid on an election center in Fulton County, Georgia, they are worried that the president could be setting the country up for unprecedented intrusion into elections. Here's Senator Mark Warner.
I have deep concerns about the fairness of our elections in 26 and 28 right now. I have concerns about the elections in primaries in our country. These kind of actions that have taken place over the last year, as we've seen this systemic dismantling of the very protections that were put in place by, again, the first Trump administration. If it doesn't scare the heck out of you, it should.
Everybody understands that the states are in charge of administering the elections. The Constitution says that. But the Due Process Clause, as well as other federal statutes, provide some ground rules about what you can and cannot do.
Now, while the SAVE Act did pass the GOP House, it faces a huge uphill battle in the Senate, where it would require bipartisan support to overcome the filibuster. It does not appear that the votes are anywhere close to doing that. Now, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, he said that he wants to have a vote on the SAVE Act, but downplayed any talk at this point of trying to alter Senate procedure to move the bill forward, although he noted Republicans who want this bill to be passed are going to have conversations about it, Errol.
Well,
there you have it. Man,
well,
I'm telling you.
What are your thoughts of nationalizing elections? Because I'm kind of like not okay with it, and then okay with it. But I
should
can tell
say,
you what.
I should, in my opinion, it should be a baseline guidelines from the federal government. Like, okay, you cannot break these rules. All right, like main broad rules, you cannot break them, and let the states do what they need to do, but they have to use those guidelines so they cannot break the law. And that's one way, so you can divide it like 25%, 75%. And because if every state goes as they wanted to go on the presidential election, or Donald Trump trying to nationalize everything, they shouldn't be just the presidential, in my opinion. It should be just presidential, get the guidelines, and give it to the states, and the state must abide by the guidelines on the presidential elections. By the governor and all that stuff, they can do whatever they want as it is right now. But nationalize it, I guess it's a little bit too far.
Yeah. Okay. So what you laid out, I've never thought of that perspective, but yeah, like maybe that's a good idea. Like have like kind of a like the states get to still do their own elections the way they want and their rules and guidelines, but there's a standard that they would have to follow, and one of them could be they have to be American citizens, which is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But they have to have identification. And also this amends with the census. Census have to count American citizens. So, dude, yeah, that is absolutely, I would be cool with that.
Yeah, I'd be cool. I'll be cool with that. Like they can do the governor as a wish, but as a presidential, they should be at least following the guidelines and have those protocols, or at least those guidelines laid out. It's like the 10 Commandments. It is just simple. Boom, 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 boom. You can do as you want, but you have to follow those rules. That's simple enough. Not big deal. Well, moving along. Do you know that Kamala Harris reappeared out of nowhere? I got Benny Johnson here. Benny Johnson dropping the news as always. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up.
What did she say? We have to do the hard work.
I know.
And the work is hard, but we will continue to work hard. Or something like that.
Some of that, I love that line. Let's
salad.
listen to Ben. Ben is one of my favorite podcasters out there. Shout out to Benny Johnson. Just listen to him.
Oh, man.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. I went off this ride. I cannot believe this is real. Kamala Harris may be announcing that she's running for president. This was posted late yesterday from Kamala HQ, the famous campaign account that used to be the Joe Biden HQ, and she stole it from him, and she stole his presidency, and Kamala Harris was complicit in the greatest cover-up in American history, and everyone's forgotten about it because, well, we all have the memories of goldfish at this point. But they posted this yesterday, which is a video of them trying to log in to their old Kamala HQ account. Way too online. The babysitter is weird. So, Epstein signal there. Headquarters. Oh, okay. Headquarters. Kamala HQ headquarters. So their password is headquarters. Great. This is leading to a lot of speculation, seen by 8 million people, 6,000 reposts, 23,000 likes. A lot of people saying, well, is Kamala Harris deciding she's going to run for governor? or the president of the United States. Either way, it looks like she's about to once again be burdened by what has been. We get to bully Kamala interns again. This is Christmas.
Oh, man.
A lot of people are celebrating. Kamala Harris is a terrible candidate. Kamala Harris is a terrible person. LMAO, no way she's going to run it back. I used to pray for times like this. Kamala Harris announcing that she is returning. God save us all. Try this password. Donald Trump kicked my ass in the election. The clip economy is about to soar if Kamala is launching a podcast. There's not enough boxed wine to fuel her. Please be a podcast. Please be a podcast.
So
it's all going according to
plan. We have that.
The great speculation is that Kamala Harris is going to run for president. Like that's.
What's going on with Kamala HQ? Well, I'm so glad you asked. I have good news. So Kamala HQ is turning into headquarters, and it's where you can go online to get basically the latest of what's going on, and also to meet and revisit with some of our great, courageous leaders, be they elected leaders, community leaders, civic leaders, faith leaders, young leaders. I'm really excited about it. So stay engaged, and I'll see you out there. Thank you.
Won, I think, pretty easily in the state of California just because she's a part of the machine, not because she's good or wouldn't have cursed.
Robert, what are your thoughts on that? Like Kamala Harris hinting, well, she's not hinting. She just posted a video. They are back and they are calling now, not Kamala HQ, but calling just the headquarters. And what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Well, shout out to Jameson Ellis. He's Nick Tran's campaign. He's a guy that ran for I forgot what district, but he ran against Dan Crenshaw. And the conversation I've had with him kind of opened my mind, and what Kamala said just resonated me with that. Because he said a good servant of the people is the person that always says, I'm representing you as a servant. Kind of like what Nick Tran does. If you guys are from the District 8 region of Texas, which is Woodlands, Cadiz, Conroe, Montgomery, Magnolia, guys, look up Nick Tran. He has a different mindset. What Kamala was saying was, she's like, leaders and this and that. I want to lead you, leaders. Like, it's just so much that I'm leading you. And to a sense, yeah. And if you look at it in a perspective, it sounds like a president does lead the country, and yes. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they're serving us because this country is by the people, for the people, right? So listen to their words. I mean, she is basically outright calling herself a leader, and she wants you to meet other leaders. No, we don't want leaders. Leaders are dictators. Those, we want servants. We want people that represent the people. And obviously, by what you played by CNN and the Pew's research, it's a mandate. Everybody from the left to the right want voter ID, and these people don't want that. And they're supposed to be leading, right? Well, because they are dictators. They don't care what you say. They don't want that. So again, when you ask me, what do I think? I think she's garbage. That's what I think. I think her word salads are empty, and the people that are following her don't even know what she stands for or what she even says, because she's unburdened by what has been. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. That's absolutely right. And this is like another disaster about to happen. This is another effort of the left trying to like rerun what happened in 2024. They lost. They tried to cover up all these crazy stuff that happened in Minnesota, allegedly, with Tim Walz and Kamala Harris' team. But now, I guarantee you, it would be Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris. I'm just saying.
Oh. So wait, you're thinking Kamala Harris is the front runner and Gavin Newsom the VP?
No, Gavin Newsom would be the front runner. Kamala Kamala would just trail because hey, no, Kamala weakness is debating. Kamala
Well,
weakness is
this
the
would
camera.
this is so easy for the Republicans at that point
I know
because
it's an
the
easy layup. It's an easy
because
layup.
the first thing we're gonna say is, oh, she had to be put down by a man. I mean, she's not good enough to be the front runner. Obviously, he's mansplaining her. You know
I
what I
know.
mean?
I know. In other news, real quick, just jumping around and get off Kamala Harris. I don't want to give her too much light, but here it is Trump RX. Have you heard about that? Donald Trump app that actually reduce your prescription prices a lot. Take a look.
Okay.
Visit trumprx.gov. Search for your prescription drug on the Trump RX website. Marvel at the price you now pay versus what you used to pay. Call your pharmacist with your Trump RX coupon code and easily order your prescription. Now, enjoy healthcare at the greatest price. Visit.
What are your thoughts on that? Because that's very interesting.
Well, my critique is this: why did they show that the prescription was $2,000 and then $500? Dude, that is still a lot of money, bro.
I saw that sound like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this person is excited. If that's $500 of, I mean, if you're paying $2,000 of prescription, something's really wrong with you. Or two, you need to get another doctor because that doctor's making money off you. You know what I mean? That doctor's like, hey, you don't need none of this, but guess what? You're gonna get all these pills. That's like 15 pills right there.
It is bad as it is right now, this economy. Donald Trump was talking about it earlier today. I'm trying to find the video where he was talking live on it. He was talking about the app and all the stuff that entails. But we're going to get more into it. And you have to give grace to Donald Trump. Listen,
Yeah,
I know. Donald Trump just came out to the scene in his second term last year, January 20, 2025. He got to work the same very day. Once he was sworn in, he went to work. He was not eating. He was not partying. He went to work.
Yep.
And look what he has done in the last, I would say, 13 months. He has done a lot.
Dude, he did a lot. He did a lot in 3 months.
I know.
Remember that?
I mean, he closed the border. First of all, that's the first thing he did, secure the border.
Doge.
So all these people stuff, the Doge. He found fraud. He started cutting the spending, the actual, the payroll, all the stuff that people tariff, all the stuff going. Like he basically liberated Venezuela.
Got the big beautiful bill done.
Got the beautiful bill. Got 2 apps going. He got this
and
tax for the people that the $1,000 for the kids, and then he got this app going now. Like
the Trump accounts.
Yeah,
Dude.
the Trump accounts, and you got the Trump RX. Like he's working as like he was 30 years old. Like,
dropped your fuel prices. The first month, the Democrats were like the egg prices, because remember the egg prices were $20. $20. Remember that? A dozen of eggs.
Yeah, it was $20. Now it's like I seen in Costco.
Back to normal. Yeah, $4.
Yeah, I seen a few bucks. I think the lowest that I have seen is
218 or 219 or something like that.
In
Texas, guys.
I mean, I buy the case of 5 dozens.
Yeah,
So,
I know. Yeah, so
I
it's
buy
kind
the
of hard.
case,
Yeah, it's like
and
18
I
bucks.
Bro, I paid $9.
Costco?
Yeah. Go to Costco, $9. $9. The highest that I've seen is 11. So they're not talking about the X no more.
Nope.
They're
then
not.
he
And-
stopped 8 wars. 8 wars.
Yeah,
8
conflict.
wars.
He pulled us out of WHO. He pulled us out of the Paris Accord.
Yep, the Paris. Yep.
Paris Accord. He pulled us out of the NATO, and now NATO claiming they're about to be broke in the next couple of months, which
Yep.
is good. But they
We
need
don't
to be
need NATO.
disbanded. They don't do anything anyway. They just rob people. So
You remember when I told you, I was like, when I heard Trump said, He's like, why do we need NATO? And then everyone in the whole world were
Yeah.
like making fun of him. Trump don't even know why he needs NATO, this and that. But Trump was asking a serious question that nobody realized. He goes, why do we need NATO? I mean, then, I decided to look. What was NATO? Why was it created? It's for the USSR, bro. It's for us to be defending against the USSR. What happened to the USSR? It doesn't exist. So
It's
why do
been
we
gone
need
since,
NATO?
it's been gone since 1989.
Dude, so that question, yes, you can ask it again. Then why do we need NATO? Don't tell me because it's conflicts of other. That's why we have the UN.
Geopolitical.
You know,
It is done, and Donald Trump pulling out of that, and the WHO and the
that's
Paris
another one,
Accord.
dude.
That would basically single-handedly just destroy those three organizations. They will be gone, done by summertime. They will be disappeared. They will be disbanded, and all those people, all those politicians, they were just sucking money, getting rich, doing nothing, just eating lobsters and sitting on the blue room talking nonsense for hours. Finally, they're gone. We don't need them anymore because at the end of the day, who do they call? The United States forever.
Yep.
So why do they need? Well, why do we need them for nothing? So good for Trump. He pulled us out of there, save us probably billions of dollars a year. So we are good to go on that. So I'm happy where we at right now. I can't wait to see what is the end of the year is gonna look like as far as uh, food prices, fuel prices, taxes. Hopefully, he goes crazy bananas on property taxes and eradicating that BS because people deserve to have their home. If they pay it off, they need to own it clear. They have to have a clear title, not a lien the freaking county or the freaking state can put on them and basically run them out of their house if they don't pay their, I would say, ransom money every freaking month.
Oh, so check this other thing that the big beautiful bill did that I didn't know, and I found out through my relatives. I'm just gonna say it like this: they're retired and they own their house, and under the big beautiful bill, then not only did they get their social security a raise, like a major raise, Julio. Like let's just say they were making 2K and now they're making for almost 4K, okay, and tax free. On top of that, which is amazing, and I was so happy to hear this, uh, they're only paying $18 on their taxes for their property. $18.
That's supposed to be.
Bro,
That is supposed to be. That is supposed
that's America winning, son.
It is. It is American winning, and this is what's supposed to be. If you retired and you old, you above, let's say 50 years old, and you be owning a house for more than 10 years, they should be tax free. I would say, if you pay, let's say you own a house, and you be paying taxes for property taxes for more than 10 years, that should be it. That should be all. You pay taxes for 10 years, and then you're done. If you sold your house and you buy another one, you start all over again. But
Well,
if you stay
no,
in that
because
house,
no, because you know what? They have track record of that, Julio. Like that's what that's what, like I agree with you there, but the whole if you buy a house or you move, I don't know. That's kind of messed up because you could have been in a house for 20 years and let's say like in your case, right? You have your kids, your little ones. So you have this enormous house. You worked hard, you bust your butt to get that big house. It's a 2-story house or whatever, right? And then you get old. So you're like, man, I don't want to live here because it's too big. The kids
yeah,
are
I
moving
know.
out. I'm alone. So then guess what? You move and now you're closer to retirement and you're less than 10
Yeah,
years
you're right. They should transfer with it. You should transfer.
because they do have the records. I checked because I'm tracking that refund. So I'm using the app, and I got in there where you can see what you paid in taxes because they're showing you, which I don't know if you guys let me know in the comments. This is my first time doing this, but I didn't know this. So I don't know if it's because of Donald Trump's
Yeah.
administration or if it was always there. But you can see, I can see all my taxes that I paid since I was 18. I can see all
No,
my property taxes. Like, dude,
it is crazy.
I don't
And
know if that's new, but
I had to do my taxes. And I received most of my paperwork, so I'm gonna do it. So I'm kind of scared to do it to see my return. My wife's
I
doing
think
hers, and I'm gonna do
I
mine.
I hope it's good things, and I hope you get blessed, my brother.
I mean, if I'm blessed, I'm gonna invest that money on my daughters. I told her already. I'm gonna put that money back to them. I don't need it.
And the
So I'm
Trump
being like,
accounts.
yeah. If I get like let's say I get the max that I can put in on the Trump account. If I get more, fine. I would put the max and save the rest until next year, and then put that money like next year, put it in again, and just continue that because she's 9. So by the time if I do it for 10 years, I would say, and I put 5,000, $5,000 to $7,000 a month, a year. That's a pretty good chunk. At the end of the day, she probably have 100K for her that she can do whatever she want. You know, buy a car, pay for college, and be basically debt free by the time she get out. So or invest it, probably buy a house, property, and start flipping houses. I don't know, whatever she wants to do.
But see, that's Julio. That right there is why this administration is going to go down in history as the best administration, because
Absolutely.
every administration before this, guys, we were
It,
in
it,
debt. Our
it
child would be like, you had a child, guess what? That child's in debt now. This
already,
time,
yeah.
yeah, this time, this child has 2K or $200 or whatever they're giving out, or $1,000, I think. They're giving out $1,000 and investing. If you don't pitch in, they'll still have a good chunk of change when they become 18. That's
Yeah, I mean, if you have a child and at least you put, I'm not your financial advisor, but you should
correct.
consider putting at least $100 a month. $100. It is doable. It is not strain on your budget. You put $100. That $100 a month plus $1,000, that will add up quickly to $2,200 at the end of the year. And the next year will be 3,200. And next year will be probably 45,000 or like $5,000. And before you know it, that will be compounded. And by your daughter is like, or your son is like 18 or 21, you probably have a good chunk to press basically a kickstart their life and not be in debt, because it is sad your kid telling you I want to go to college, and you gotta tell them you gotta take a loan. Basically, you're already putting behind. You know you put him in the hole already by telling getting the loan. But nevertheless, we are blessed. We are here. We are healthy, and we are alive, and that's a good thing. Let me read this Bible verse before we head out of here. Let me move my mic a little bit so I can see it on the screen. Ephesians 2:8 and 9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourself, it is the gift of God, not by works, so no one can boast.
Mm.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. I can't believe the word of God. Like no matter how many times you read it and you recite it, it kind of means something different. Once you're evolving, it kind of like it giving you more every time. Even though you probably read it like 20 times, you'd be like, man, I read it like 20 times and it's still telling me something new every time. So that's the word of God, man. That's the best selling book, most famous book in the planet. Nobody haven't got into it yet. Imagine that. The book was written 2,000 years ago and it's still popping. That's crazy, huh? So with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, you can follow us on X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, Rumble. We are all over the place. You can see us there. This is your YouTube handles. If you're on YouTube, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Leave your comments down below. Don't cost anything. Robert, any words before we depart the evening?
Yes, guys. And don't forget to go to xraypodcast.com. And let me just share the screen with you. I'm sharing the wrong one. Here we go. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good, brother.
Yeah, don't forget to go to xraypodcast.com and you can go here and check it out. You know, we got our shirts, our merch, we got our videos. If you want to see our interview with Alex Rosen, the pedophile poacher, which he's or the predator poacher, he's a real good guy. And our buddy Nick Tran and Kawe Malai and good old Valentino. And we all know JJ Carroll, of course. But yeah, so Julio, real quick. So just to let the viewers know, we got this different types of shirts. More shirts are coming, of course. Um, you know, this $25.99, that's including shipping. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, everything is included, and we're about to do a sale, a fire sale. I had to go back and fix it, probably for next Monday. If you are on the fence to get a shirt, I'm gonna just put the shirts that are on sale front and center, so you can go ahead and see it. And there will be a fire sale; it will be half a price, so you'll be able to jump in, and for like $10, $10 to $12, you will get a shirt. I will put the quantity, the size that I got left, so you see what we have, and you get your shirt, including shipping. So you cannot beat it. You get a shirt,
You got
shipping next
white,
day.
you got black.
Right now, yeah, I had to look back.
Red.
I have to look back in the inventory to see which one I have. So I would put the size, the colors, and the quantities, so you know what we have left. So you pick the one that you want, and once we sold out, we sold out, and then we do make more shirts for the next season, and we sold quite a few. So grab them while they're hot, because we're about to go on sale next Monday. So get ready for it. I had to go back and fix a couple stuff, and you'll be able to pay. And we take care of
Bam.
easy peasy lemon squeezy. So wait till Monday, and we're gonna drop the prices Monday morning. They will be for sale. I will delete what we don't have. I will put just what we have, and everything will be ready to go. So thank you so much.
If you guys are watching this clip when it wasn't live, guess what? We have something for you. If you made it this far, you can get a 10% discount. And that 10% is coming from me. So yeah, you know, but we'll find a way to put a code on there, say Robert's discount. And that will let us know you watched the whole clip, and let us know what you think in the comments, you know?
No, we really appreciate it, and we're gonna repeat that tomorrow. We're gonna say the discounts, all that stuff. So everything will be ready by Monday. So you'll be able to jump in, pick your shirt, like 50% plus 10%. Man, that's a steal. You probably get a shirt for $8.99, and you'd be good to go. You'd be like, hey, okay. So you cannot beat it. Anyway, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate your support. And for those subscribers that are paying subscriber, thank you for your contribution and your help to keep the lights on. We really appreciate it. Robert, and you that you're watching me, God bless America, God bless our troops, and above all, God bless you. Have a great evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow evening, same time, 7:30 Central PM. And I see you guys on the next one. Take care. God bless you.